This is the fourth and final episode in our series on the disappearance of Sandra and John Jacobson, who went missing from Bismarck, North Dakota in November of 1996. Throughout the series, we've dug into the meat of the story, revealing areas where investigators failed to properly investigate. In this episode, we'll take a closer look at Sandra and John, who they were, and what memories still linger in the minds of those who have never stopped loving them. You're listening to The Vault, a Forum Communications podcast covering true crime and general intrigue in the Upper Midwest. I'm Trisha Taurinskas. My coverage on this story can be found at inforum.com. Just look for the Vault section. It's in the midst of a family holiday celebration that Sandra and John's presence is missed the most. Susan Grensteiner, Sandra's sister-in-law, puts it like this.
She loved all the holidays, everything with all the families. At her time when she disappeared, it was weird that she wouldn't be there for like Thanksgiving, because holidays were her thing. Everyone had to be together, everyone had to have fun. She's all about family.
In the months following their November 1996 disappearance, Thanksgiving and Christmas came and went. Sandra and John's absence was heartbreaking, and they knew, following those holidays, that something was terribly wrong.
And when she was gone for their birthdays, her mom's birthday, or my husband Gordy's birthday, Christmas, that was all right after that all happened. And so that's when we knew something was really wrong, because she wasn't there for all that. And those are her big things: birthdays, holidays, everything. She basically loved every holiday, everyone around her. If you were her family, she loved you.
Sandra left her mother and father's Bismarck home the evening of November 16th, 1996, with her 5-year-old son, John. They left to get gas. Her vehicle was found the next morning parked alongside the Missouri River in Centennial Park. The driver's side door was wide open, and her purse sat on the front passenger seat. More than 20 years after their disappearance, with no sign of either of them, family members still recall the mother and son that once brought immeasurable joy to their lives. John was just 5 years old when he and his mother went missing. He had his entire life ahead of him, and while it's difficult for family members to say what he would be like today, they know exactly what he was like back then. Like kids his age, he played dress-up and superheroes. A makeshift cape tied around his neck wasn't an uncommon sight. In fact, he did it quite often, flying around and pretending to be the superheroes he saw on TV. It was at his grandma's house, the last place he was seen, that he would run around with his little cousin, Michaela, playing games and making his presence known.
They dressed up. They did a lot of dress up. They were like superheroes. I can't remember what superheroes they were at the time, but they always had capes on. They always dressed up. Michaela and John were always on the go together at Grandma's house. She had a handicap ramp. They would run down that. They'd push the wheelchairs down because Grandma wouldn't let them sit in the wheelchairs, even though they argued about it with her. But they always worked together, and he never wanted to leave, because if Michaela's there, he wasn't going home.
He, along with his older brother, was his mom's whole wide world. They shared a special bond, the bond of a mother and son. Susan's memories of Sandra run deep. They were related through marriage, but they shared a sisterhood, a friendship, that surpassed normal in-law relationships. Part of their connection had to do with Sandra's deep love and commitment to family. Whether married or born into the family, she looked at it all the same. Susan still hears her laugh today through family members who have unknowingly adopted Sandra's charm. Glimpses of her face are found in Sandra's niece, Susan's daughter, Michaela, reminding Susan of the joy Sandra brought to her family.
Looks identical to her. But she looks a lot like me as well. But when she laughs, she's Gordy's sister all the way.
Oh, wow.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, Sandy could have given birth to my daughter, and no one would ever question it.
As noted in the police file, Sandra kept a detailed journal. It was part of her life that Susan said was incredibly important, almost as important as her relationship with family. Sandra kept her journal under her mattress, a secret location that only those close to her were aware of. For that reason, Susan finds it difficult to believe that Alan Jacobson, her husband, didn't come across the journal when searching and selling Sandra's trailer. The journal had become a sought-after object when Bismarck Police Sergeant William Connor took over the case in 2004, as he believed it could shed light on what happened to Sandra and John. The initial investigation into their disappearance failed to secure access to her trailer and belongings, and therefore, her journal. By the time Connor took over, the trailer had been sold by Alan Jacobson. He claimed to have no knowledge of the journal. There was something else about Sandra that her sister-in-law recalled, and it had to do with the way she kept an eye on her purse. She wasn't one to leave it behind. When Susan heard law enforcement discovered her purse on the front passenger seat, along with an open driver's side door, she grew suspicious.
I knew something was really wrong when they found her purse sitting there, and I said, there's something really wrong, because Sandy didn't go anywhere without her purse. I mean, she kept everything in there. Her whole life was in that purse. I mean, per se. But she always had her purse with her. I mean, she did not go anywhere without that purse. She would not have left her car without that purse. I don't care whatever was going to transpire. She would not have left it willingly.
For Susan, the purse sitting on the front passenger seat was a sign of foul play. So she was confused, especially now. Why was foul play not initially considered? The theory that Sandra Jacobson willingly entered the waters of the Missouri River with John in tow never sat well with family members. Yes, she was experiencing mental distress, but they just can't wrap their heads around that. The idea that Sandra would take her own life and the life of her son. Investigators pointed to the purse as a sign that she knew she wasn't returning. But even if that theory was true, Susan wonders something. Sandra Jacobson left no note, no explanation, for the family she so deeply loved.
She would have never left her family. She just wouldn't do it. I don't care how sick she was. She wouldn't leave her family, especially her other son. She would never, ever, ever would she have left him. And I don't know. I just don't think she would have ever. I just don't know. Because family's too important to her. And if she was going to do something, I think she would have left something, done something different. It would have been more pronounced, I feel.
Without a note, they really don't know what happened. But for Susan, it's odd that she didn't say something. She didn't leave anything behind for her family, the people she loved so much. Something that would have at least given them closure and a bit of an understanding. But there was no note. There was nothing. If you've been listening to this series or reading it online and know anything about this story or feel like you can contribute in some way, please reach out. I can be best contacted at my email address. It is rather long. It is Taurinskas. That is Taurinskas at forumcom.com. forumcom.com. Thanks for listening. Unlock more cold cases and crimes from the past at inforum.news/try. Get your first 3 months of unlimited access to our entire news network for only 99 cents a month. Take advantage of this deal at inforum.news/try. Forum Communications is proud to be part of the Trust Project. Learn more at thetrustproject.org.